Welcome to Retirement Decoded with your host, Scott Tucker, where we break down the complexities of retirement planning to give you clear, actionable advice. Whether you're just starting out or getting ready to retire, Scott's here to help you make informed decisions and secure your financial future. Tune in each week as we simplify the process and decode the path to a stress-free retirement. Now, here's your host, Scott Tucker.
Welcome back to Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker. Welcome to the Retirement Decoded podcast. My trusty co-host, as just about every episode, is the wildly talented associate advisor, Andre Hootie. Say hello, Andre Hootie.
Hello, Andre Hootie.
And Andre Hootie, of course, we are here in Chicago at Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. And we help people get retired and hopefully stay retired. And your mileage may vary. Can't be promissory, or else the SEC will come down on us with a load of bricks.
The SEC or compliance take it back.
Our own registered investment advisory, the compliance people. I tell you what,
they're strict.
Oh, geez. No, they're nice people, but they got a job to do. Okay, keep us on the tracks, or off the tracks. Keep us on track and keep us off the tracks.
Yeah, I think
you don't want to be on the tracks like in those cartoons where they tie the guy to the tracks.
Oh yeah, no.
You just want to keep. Anyway, let's get back on track, Andre. So we have a question today from Linda. And so today's episode is, Scott, what's the best way to find a fee-only financial planner? That is a loaded one right there. And everybody writes us a question that's a paragraph long with like 10 sentences, right? And thanks for your question, Linda. It's great.
Thanks for the detail. It definitely helps.
Thanks for the detail. That's one way to say it. No, it's good, though, the context and all that. So the first sentence, though, is, Scott, what's the best way to find a fee-only financial planner? Andre, what I'm concerned about when folks are looking for a fee-only planner, do they know what they're asking for?
Usually not.
Usually not. And they heard the term, and then they don't know what it means. It sounds good, I think. And then some people say, wait, fee-only? Wait a minute. Do I want a no fee?
I don't know if those exist.
Fee only financial planner. Wait, fees. That's another thing people are worried about with financial planners are paying fees and what that expense might be. There was a study done by Vanguard a couple years back that showed that that a financial planner can add 3% over the life of, they can average out about enhancing your returns and everything about 3% a year. And of course, even in their study, they say that can weeble and wobble, maybe 2 to 4% or something like that. But they said about 3% a year. I think if the financial planner is really doing a thorough job, and they're doing things like tax planning for retirement, that can be they can really obviously be much more valuable even than 3%. But that's what Vanguard said. Don't blame me. That's what Vanguard said in their study. So Linda says, Scott, what's the best way to find a fee-only financial planner? The concern I have about this, Linda, if you go hunting for a fee-only financial planner, you may find one and not know what you found. And what do I mean by that? A fee-only financial planner, they would only be able to help you as an investment advisor with securities. So what's missing then, Andre, would be insurance.
I mean, every other part of retirement. Investments is it's a big part, but it's also kind of a small part in the grand scheme of things.
I think most people think that their opportunity, we just met with a gentleman the other day, and he thought his opportunity was in he's currently with another, he's with an advisor that happens to work with Fidelity or work for Fidelity. Fidelity's a fine company. They hire good people. But what I thought about what was happening, I thought this gentleman that came to see us, and he's done well saving. He and his wife, net worth $4.2 million, and they've saved for retirement 2.4, I think was the number, 2.6. They've saved in investable assets, and they've got a chunk of cash in the bank and things. But the thing is, it was hard to get him to see initially. He got it at the end. It was hard to get him to see that his opportunity isn't in trying to beat his advisor at Fidelity.
Yeah.
Or find somebody to beat his advisor at Fidelity. Most advisors, when it comes to investments, are doing a pretty darn good job, unless you're putting constraints on them. We talked to a lady the other day that's got a third of her life savings in Apple stock.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't even think about divesting a little bit of that. She doesn't want to hear about creating options income on that. She doesn't, everything's like, no, Apple's great. And we're on a Zoom. And I'm like, listen, I'm on a MacBook. I'm on a MacBook Pro on a Zoom, and I'm wearing my AirPods, and then I've got another set of AirPod Max at home, and then I've got more Apple stuff than anybody should ever have. I have all the cables too. I just got a new with the iPhone 16 Pro, because my iPhone 13 Pro finally It gave up the ghost.
Well, I mean, it survived for quite a time, though.
Yeah. But she's telling me how great Apple is, and I go, I know it's great. I was going to say, so I got the new Apple 16 Pro thing just because I'm kind of frugal in a way on that. I keep an iPhone until it dies. And so my little switch on the side was broken. It's dying after about 3 years. Yeah. And so I finally got the new iPhone 16 Pro thing, nice phone. And what did they do, Andre? They changed, now you need different cables.
Oh, of course.
You see that? You got to have the USB-C now.
Oh, well, that's where the money is. It's not in the iPhone.
No, it's not. You goofball.
Well,
You know that. You're just goofing with me.
Yeah.
That's how they make their money, is selling us different cables. What happened is in the European Union, the European Union says we're going to stop with all these cables going to the landfills. And so everybody who's using a lightning cable, when the new iPhone comes out, is going to have to, by law in the European Union, have a USB-C. And so then what happens? All these lightning cables go to the landfill.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, it's nice. Now,
It'll eventually...
Android, everybody's moving that way. It'll be universal.
I don't care about Android.
Well, no, who does? But
yeah, it's like might as well have a jitterbug.
Well, but now you only need one cable in the car.
Well, my truck now, I have two cables. I have a Lightning to charge my AirPods case, and I have, or Natalie still has a 13 Pro, I think. Okay. And then I have the USB-C one to charge my 16 Pro. So
Gotcha.
it's complicated. Okay. So what's the best way to find a fee-only financial planner? Linda wants to know. This isn't tech talk with Tucker. The best way to find a fee-only financial planner, I don't know that you want to find one, because something that we do, because we are securities licensed as investment advisor representatives. And so we can help you as fiduciaries on securities accounts. Now, on the insurance side of things, we also have insurance licensed. And on the insurance side of things, there is no such thing as a fiduciary, and your advisor, if they're insurance licensed, may earn a commission. Things like term life insurance, we need to have an insurance license, and there isn't term life insurance out there that doesn't pay a commission. And there's a bit of legwork, more than you might think, to get that issued. Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage, Medicare drug cards. What else? There's all kinds of insurance. We're not big fans of long-term care insurance because it's a little wobbly with the carriers on that particular product. But so, Linda, when you're looking for a fee-only financial planner, what you could be lining yourself up for is a portfolio that is completely at risk, meaning that a fee-only financial planner is only acting as an investment advisor on securities. Now, securities are things that probably ought to be called insecurities because they can lose value. You ever hear that phrase, investing involves the risk of loss? And so your advisor might not be able to use safer alternatives to just using securities. So when securities, the things that people are most familiar with are stocks and bonds. What a lot of people, Andre, are surprised to know is that bonds do have risk to them.
Yeah. And we saw that in 2022.
Yeah, in 2022, the U.S. stock market fell, just round numbers, U.S. stock market fell in 2022 about 20%. The bonds fell about 10% in aggregate there. It's a big word, aggregate. My Uncle Mike, you ask him, I said something, I called concrete cement, and I had to listen to his correction.
Oh, that's a big thing.
My Uncle Mike he's like a construction guy.
I've got that talk too. My dad.
Oh yeah, your dad, yeah. And your dad mostly speaks Ukrainian.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got the talk in Ukrainian.
Exactly, and yeah, it's not fun.
Where cement sort of is more like mortar, and then the concrete has aggregate in it. It has a little pebbles in there.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it stick better.
Yeah. So the pebbles with the cement is concrete, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, what do I know? I'm Bob Vila over here. Okay.
Starting a new career.
So Linda, what's the best? She says, what's the best way to find a fee-only financial planner? You don't want everything to be at risk. And so I think you might be looking for what they call a fee-based financial planner. So fee-based would mean that they're an investment advisor, not a stockbroker, which I think is a big tip, Andre. I would prefer people not work with a stockbroker because a stockbroker can buy and sell securities for a commission, and that can kind of steer the ship a little bit. The investment advisor, they can manage securities for you for an advisory fee, and that can be a lot better. There's no commissions on that stuff. On the insurance side, if they're going to help you with Medicare or term life insurance or any kind of insurance product, then they're going to earn a commission, and there's really not a way around that. And I think you just got to you got to work with somebody that you maybe know, like, and trust. A number of people come to us, Andre, because they're referred by their friends and friends or family or whatever. That might be, I don't think that's foolproof, but I think that's a pretty good way to find somebody that at least somebody else is happy with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you get to hear their whole experience and how things have been. You're not just walking in blind.
Yeah. So Linda says, I went to the sites suggested and other, she went from other websites, and they had sites that suggested on other websites. She went from site to site, town to town.
Well, half the time they're just paid to promote certain websites. So that might not be the best.
Yeah, you can go in the Google and a whole bunch of ads come up for sites that then sell leads to fee-only financial planners.
Yeah,
there you go. So far, none that I've called are fee only. Oh, so she's been calling advisors saying, "Are you fee only?" She's not finding anyone who is. Linda, that might actually be a good thing, because when you're calling these financial planners and they're not fee only. I don't want them to be a stockbroker, but I do think it could be a good thing that they're insurance licensed. Like we said, you're going to need help with Medicare, and Medicare is a really big one. You're going to want them to be knowledgeable on other things having to do with insurance, like personal liability umbrellas for asset protection. And if your advisor is just fee only, securities only, they're not going to talk to you about Medicare. They're not going to talk to you about insurance-based ways to protect against lawsuits, like a liability umbrella. And we do not sell personal liability umbrellas. I do have a property and casualty license, but I don't want to mess with it. So I refer folks. There's a good insurance broker in Downers Grove, Illinois, that I've used for probably 25 years, and they do a really great job shopping around for you. But yeah, when you're calling around and asking people if they're a fee-only advisor and they're saying no, there's good reason in many cases. They say, so they don't, the advisors she's called they say they're not fee only, and they expect you to invest through them after they talk with you in details. I'm going through a divorce. I'm going through a divorce. I'm close to retirement, and I have questions, including timing, advice for selling and buying a home. When would it be best to draw from Social Security? That's another one. A lot of the fee only advisors that only focus on securities are not helping folks potentially maximize their Social Security, or potentially get your Social Security free from federal income tax.
Yeah, and there is just so much benefit in that, because what most people don't know is that it is so easy to have your Social Security taxed. If you've saved money for retirement like you've been told to your whole life, and you've saved a decent chunk, in your 70s, when you start having to pull money out, that money goes into an equation called provisional income, and that can cause taxes on Social Security. And for somebody that's not paying attention to that, I mean, how do you say that they're really doing a good job for you?
Yeah, a couple things come to mind here. Linda's going through a divorce. So what's crazy right now, Linda, until that divorce is finalized, your assets kind of aren't your assets. So let's try to get that thing done as quickly as we can. I'm a big fan of the amicable divorce, where both spouses work with one attorney and there's no fighting, and they just cut the pie down the middle. No. There's a trick with kids. I'm an only child, as you can tell. But Andre, you have a sister. And when you were a kid, this is like a King Solomon wise man thing or something. I learned this from a friend of mine who had a sister as well. My friend, his mom would say, here you go. We'll call him Bob. Here's the knife. Cut the pie in half, perhaps, or whatever it is that they're going to eat. Yeah. She's supposed to split it with his sister. Instead of having him cut it and split it, he would cut it, and then she would pick which one was hers.
Well, that's more fair.
Yeah. So that could be an amicable divorce tip. You cut it, and then the other person takes the part that they get to choose which half they want.
Right. There you go.
Right down the middle. Okay. So she's going through a divorce. Linda, the faster and more affordable you can get that thing settled, and then you can move on with your assets and on with your life. She's close to retirement. She has questions, including timing advice for selling and buying a house. That's awful complicated. And you can't really sell the house until you get the divorce. Well, you know what I mean? When would it be best to draw from Social Security? Most folks want to turn on Social Security too early. Mm-hmm. And they give up a whole bunch of raises that they're otherwise entitled to, and then also her pension. And what you said earlier, I wanted to fill in some blanks there. I know what you meant. If Linda had saved all her money in traditional tax deferred accounts like IRA, 401k, 403b, deferred comp, TSP, that income in her 70s would very easily cause up to 85% of her Social Security to be federally taxed.
Yeah.
But if we did tax planning now, And I didn't see if Linda said if she's an Illinois resident or not. Now, we can help folks all across the country, but I'll just say Illinois residents, you can do Roth conversions, pay the IRS at a discount under the Trump tax cuts, and then you can also pay Illinois nothing on Roth conversions. Illinois is a bit unusual. Illinois does not tax retirement accounts. Some states do, but here in Illinois, you can currently do Roth conversion under the Trump tax cuts, pay the IRS at a discount, and then pay the state of Illinois nothing. Then you're all in Roth, Andre, and then when you retire, the federal government and no state will tax that Roth.
You are off the grid.
You're off the grid, and then so you're off the grid. You got your Roth, you got a big old Roth because you convert everything over. And now don't do it all at once, and don't do it without talking to us. There tends to be about a 5-year sweet spot, but your mileage could vary on that. Get on our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com. You just book yourself at tuckerretirement.com. We'll talk on the phone about it, run your numbers for you. But Linda, if you go into retirement with all your money in Roth eventually, maybe 5 years from now, all money gets into Roth, and then you have your Social Security. So now your Roth is tax-free, federal and state. Your Social Security is federally tax-free, and in many states tax-free. Like in Illinois, Social Security is not taxed. And you're off to the races. You're off to the races over a number of years, of course. But anyway. And then her pension. Now, your pension, Linda, Andre, you know this. Pensions are taxed monthly by the IRS for the rest of your life.
They are. I hope that you have other options than just a monthly.
Yep. You might be entitled, Linda, to a lump sum pension. I can't recommend for or against that. We would never do that without knowing what's going on. But a lot of folks, there's a natural gas utility, let's say in the Chicagoland area, and they offer folks that work for this natural gas utility, they offer them sometimes a lump sum pension, usually around age 59 or so. What you do with that, not specific advice, mileage may vary, we got to talk about it first. What you might do with that, we've seen some of these lump sums be $900,000 to $950,000. You can take them as a lump sum, direct transfer to an IRA so it never touches your hand, so there's no taxable event. Then what we could do from there is look at doing Roth conversions, pay the IRS at a discount before taxes go any higher, and then also pay Illinois nothing. Now we have a giant Roth. That Roth income, Andre, in retirement is not taxed by the federal or state government.
No, there's not even a place for it on the 1040.
That's exactly right, Andre. I was just going to say that. No, I forgot to say that. That's good. So on the 1040, it's non-reportable income, the Roth.
Yeah.
And then your Social Security, Linda, would all be federally tax-free, and in most states, or many states, it would be tax-free as well. Get on our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com. I also have questions about taxes. We talked about that a little bit. Health insurance. Linda, you didn't say how many years of experience you have, but if you're under age 65 and not disabled, then we can't get on Medicare until you're 65 unless you're disabled before then. But for health insurance, the under age 65 health insurance, we have a health insurance broker that we work with on that. You don't want to just call up Blue Cross or United Healthcare, or you don't want to just go direct to the carrier. You want to use a health insurance broker, and that's what we do with our clients. And Andre and I are both licensed for health insurance, and in Illinois we can be licensed in other states with a snap of our fingers. Most states, probably 47 states, if we just go on the NAIC, the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, pay them $50 or whatever, depending on the state, then we can be licensed within a couple of days in whatever state you're in. But we also have health insurance brokers across the country we can refer you to. Now, Linda, as you approach age 65, or if you're already age 65, we have a full-time Medicare broker, and they'll shop your supplements, your Medicare Advantage, your drug cards, your dental, vision, and all that for you. One thing a lot of folks miss, you want to do this, even if whether you never talk to us or not, you want to do this every fall. Between October 15th and December 7th, that's open enrollment for Medicare. Every year, you could actually, it's a government website. It's not perfect. You can go on October 15th each year. You can go on Medicare.gov. You can enter in your zip code and put in your medications, and it'll show you out of maybe 30 different drug plans in your zip code. It'll show you which drug plan is best for the medications you take. Not Linda, not your sister. Not what your brother did. There's no best drug plan. You need to actually shop it every year, because every year the formulary changes on these drug plans, and it could really make a big difference come January. And if you snooze, you lose. If you're not looking this up on October 15th to December 7th, and you don't change your drug plan if you need to, you just find out in January that your formulary changed and your medication's not covered the way it used to be, or maybe not at all. So that's at Medicare.gov. Or if you want to get on our phone calendar, that's tuckerretirement.com. She says, Linda says, Scott, I need a personal action plan, not investment advice. Well, I think Morgan Stanley's a fine company, and there are substandard advisors anywhere. I'm not beating up on anybody. She says, Scott, I need a personal action plan, not investment advice. My investment advisor at Morgan Stanley is not the right person. And I don't think that's a slight on Morgan Stanley. I think that's a fine outfit. But, a lot of folks feel that way, that their investment advisor is not the right person to help them with things.
Well, I think there's a difference too, right? It's while you're working and saving, you need an investment advisor that maybe focuses a little bit more on the investments and the growth. But as you near retirement, you need to, just as your finances shift, so does the advisor you're working with probably needs to shift. Because if the advisor doesn't have the health insurance licenses and all that, and is just helping, they're not doing the whole complete package for you, right? They're just focusing on the one part. Whereas now, instead of focusing on growth, you should really be focusing on dividends, interest, really protecting that principal as much as you can, making sure that what you have lasts until the end of your life.
We need to be working on investments, on taxes and retirement. You need to be working on your medical plan for retirement, your legacy planning, wills and trusts, and that kind of thing. The worst kind of money to leave to kids or grandkids is tax-deferred money like IRA, 401k, 403b, deferred comp, TSP. Roth money is the best money to leave behind. We show you how to do that. So can many others. And also, when it comes to your income plan, don't file for Social Security incorrectly. Most Americans do file for Social Security incorrectly. And there's a study done that found that the average American household leaves $111,000 on the table by filing for Social Security incorrectly. So there's a lot there. When I was a kid, I started playing hockey, Andre, when I was 7, and it was too late. I grew up in Michigan, and this is how weird people in Michigan are about hockey and everything, but almost like Canadians. You're supposed to start ice skating when you're 2 years of age, and you're supposed to be playing organized hockey by the time you're 4 years old.
Wow, that seems a little ambitious.
Do you want to be in the NHL or not?
I can barely walk it.
That's what Patrick Kane did. He was skating at 2 and playing at 4.
There's a reason he's the best.
Well, I was born in 73. I'm 51 now, but I was born in 73. And in 1980, the U.S. hockey team was on TV and beat the Soviet Union. I was 7 years old, and all of a sudden, my mom knew somebody from the hospital that their kid played hockey. Next thing you know, I'm playing hockey. So, Linda, what I'm saying is, you have the advisor you've had to help you grow the money probably did a pretty good job. The two of you together did a great job, probably. But I am now 51, and my shoe size is a 10, like a 10 wide. Mm-hmm. I can't wear the skates I learned in when I was 7.
Exactly.
I can't wear the skates that I wore when I was in 8th grade. You have to buy bigger skates, or try something else on for size. I don't know. Anyway.
Time brings change.
So, Linda and everybody else, hopefully that helped. You've been listening to the Retirement Decoded podcast with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker, my sidekick, Andre Hootie, our associate advisor. And it's been fun. It's been real. We'll talk to you on the next episode.
Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. has a strategic partnership with tax professionals and attorneys who can provide tax and or legal advice. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. A Roth conversion is a taxable event and may have several tax-related consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. The views and opinions herein are those of Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AEWM and Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not subject to investment advisory requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc.